Hi, welcome back to another game of Steel Division. Today I'm going to be playing online, and I'm going to be using the 17th SS Panzergrenadier Gotz B German Mechanized Infantry deck, and I'll be going up against my opponent who is using the 2nd Infantry Indian Spearhead deck. This is on quick play, so it's a random map, and before we begin I will quickly go over the deck I'm using. So this is the 17th SS Panzergrenadier Gotz B German Mechanized Battle Group, and I decided to go with a balanced deployment type since I am going online. I didn't want the pressure of having to do well in the early game with a Maverick deck. This allows me to take my time and draw the game out if I need to. One of the units that I would highlight is the SS Legionary. It's definitely a must in this deck. It has a fanatical trait along with a Panzerfaust and the Molotov cocktails. Some of the other good units would be the Neverwaffe 300mm, saving them for phase C with a munition truck. This allows me to free up a slot in the support line, because normally I would rely on a supply truck. But being able to bring up the IG-33s and the IG-18s seemed like a much more better use of this slot. And since they are a rocket, you only get the one barrage and then you have to resupply it anyway, so why not just bring them up together. I have the Ju-88s that are going to be providing air support along with the Bf-109 with their rockets, and then the recon planes also flying about. Okay, let's get started. So over on the left side, I've set up a defensive position in these two forests, just making sure nothing comes down this hill. In the town here on the left, I've decided to be pretty aggressive. I've got an MG set up in the church, and then everything else is going up onto this hillside. For this forest here, I've just got a IG-33 and a Panzergrenadier. Then over on the right in the town, just a few units to hold that position, and then over on this forest on the right, just a Pioneer and SS Legionary. So he's bringing up these flamethrowers very early on, and IG-18 is going to take out a Jeep. And then my infantry is going to finish them off. In the town, my SPWs are going to take out both of these engineer squads before they can even unload, which I was very happy about. The only downside was these flamethrowers are now in a pretty annoying spot, and I don't really have anything to deal with them since the infantry I was pushing up onto the hillside. I didn't want these to be sitting ducks, so I moved up the SPWs pretty quickly, when I probably should have at least left one of them back to clear out these flamethrower squads. Over on the left, I think they also had a... maybe not, I think it was just... I'm pretty sure there was a M1 gun that tried to unload there, and it got hit by the IG-33. Bf-109 coming in there with its rockets. So I do manage to secure the flag that I wanted to take in the early game, and because the MG sat back in the church, I do manage to keep control of this flag as well, so I was pretty happy with that. I do bring up the SD KFZ to that unloaded my IG-33 to see if I can maybe spot these flamethrowers, but I don't really have any luck. IG-18 trying to get a hit off. Does miss target though. I think that's the... yeah, there it is. So I definitely did take that out. You can see the burn damage. I think he lost an extra 2 guys from that. Over on the right side, not too much has happened. I did lose that Pioneer squad to his engineers, but he is bringing up a basic squad. And over here, this M8 was just kind of sitting out on the road, so I decided to bring up a Stug 4 to hit it, since I do have vision of it with my Legionary. So on a little bit of a lull now, so I might just go over the units. So this is the SS Legionary, 25 cost unit with a Panzer Fast and Molotovs. It's got the G43s and the Berettas, making it really good for close range, and has the fanatical trait, so it's never going to surrender, no matter how many units it loses. Even if it doesn't have a leader squad with it, they're going to fight to the last man. Panzergrenadier is kicking that basic unit back. These are actually quite powerful as well. That's another unit I wanted to go over. These basics are only at 20 cost, and they have 10 M1 grants and 2 carbines, so they're pretty good at medium range. Engineer squads aren't as great. I didn't find them too threatening at all, and neither were the... here we go. Stug 4 just knocking that M8 in one shot. That lets my infantry move forward as well now. I also wheeled over the IG-18 in case that basic unit comes back. Yeah, so these light squads, they've only got the 1 bar and 11 M1 grand, so if you can get close range, you can deal with them, and also from long range, because I do have the double MGs with my Panzergrenadiers, I'm going to win those engagements. So I brought up a Pack 38 on the left, and also a Pack 40 over into this forest, and the idea is that I was going to use either one or both together to take out the M4A1, which should give me the opportunity to push up onto this hill. He's also brought up a couple of M4A1s and a mortar along with the M8 to deal with what infantry I have up on the hill. His flamethrower did kill my MG, so I brought up the SDKFZ to make sure that I still control that flag. And I'm now bringing up some Stas Troop and Panzergrenadiers to deal with the flamethrower, along with the SPW-233. Over in the town, my SS Legionary did start to engage with the engineers. This is pretty... like, this is not ideal, really. So I'm going to try to pull them back and move the Stug over. And the M1 gun just getting ready to unload there. We're on the town. We finally lose that flag. But we're making our way up onto the hill. Frag grenade going to take him out, and that's going to open up this flag for me. It does have some reinforcements coming in though, so I do have to be careful of that. But for the time being, I am going to get that flag, which is quite lucky since he did actually get this flag from taking out my SDKFZ with one of the M4A1s. I did manage to knock out this flamethrower. We did lose the SPW to the M4A1. And I'm now trying to deal with these flamethrowers here quite poorly, since I decided to use a Pioneer and Panzergrenadier squad for this. Not too sure what I was thinking here. I think I was just focusing on other areas of the map at the time. Ideally, I should have actually used this road to probably bring up some like SS Legionary or something, or even just use my BF-109s to knock them out. But I'm going to lose that Flame Grenadier squad. And over on the right, I'll just manage to push those basic units out by providing range with their F1 and my Stug and Pioneers hitting them. So with that, I do manage to gain control of this flag, and I'm just going to run the Pioneers over there to hold it for me. Those bazookas aren't going to have much of a chance against my Legionary either. Now, I actually was supposed to bring up this Pack 38 as well, so that any armor coming along this road would run into it, but I completely forgot. Since I was kind of struggling with dealing with this flamethrower here. And again, I really shouldn't have struggled here. A couple of BF-109s would have easily dealt with that, or even just bringing up a recon vehicle or something from the left side. Here I am going to lose my Stug. I tried to bring it up since I knew that those basic units couldn't deal with my armor. I thought it was pretty safe to just push it up, but the M1 gun was waiting for me, and he actually sees my JU-88 coming in, so he starts to back up. So at this point I actually thought I got this, but it just was deep into the forest. SS Legionary going to unload and push forward to deal with that single flamethrowerman. And he's trying to go for a little bit of a push himself. So he's got these rifles at the edge of the forest that he's going to try to bring down. One thing that I did do is bring up a IG-33. The idea for it was to defend anything coming down this road, while my infantry were going to pull over to the side and see if they could get a cap onto this flag. What I forgot about was that he could move these guys forward and take it out, so that's what he does do, and it's a bit unfortunate since these guys are actually hidden back there. They can't even provide fire support. I do bring up a Pack 43 though. Wasn't too sure if he was going to try and bring some more M4A1s down here. And it actually works out really well because it has eyes on this entire cliffside. So anything trying to pull down here is always going to get hit by that Pack 43. Over in the town, he also decided to make a bit of a push, and this is where I am quite vulnerable, since all I have is this SS Legionary and Panzergrenadier. Stug 4 doing a good job of providing some support though. That M1 gun is slowly creeping forward though to get hits on it. Now this was a bit of a mistake on my part. I brought up a whole bunch of these infantry. And then run straight into a heavy machine gun nest. So a couple of them pinned down, these Panzergrenadiers and SS Legionary quite stressed. But I do manage to get one Legionary squad in, so I was pretty happy with that. He also brought up reinforcements at the same time though, so I didn't get the full advantage of it. But I am going to be in a pretty good spot where I can capture this flag. Starstrip under fire, my leader squad under fire, and my SS Legionary down to 2 man. So is it going to be a bit scary? He could get this capture here. My SS Legionary managing to take out the flamethrower, and that's pretty much stabilized this entire front on this town. So I've got this flag completely under my control. Another push here from some engineers, and he was actually able to do this since after he pushed, I then tried to counter push, not realizing that there was engineers in the wing there, and he'd also brought up a mortar which started hitting them, forcing them to surrender. These engineers are going to have a bad time running into my pioneers and Panzergrenadiers. As soon as they leave that house, they get completely decimated by my SS Legionary. But with that, I'm going to lose the town. I was actually in the process of bringing up an 88 as well, so that was going to try and deal with their armor. For everyone going down. Got a couple of Panzergrenadiers and SS Legionary. They were going to make their way into the town, and we're going to try and recapture this flag. Meanwhile, over here, I did manage to sneak these SS Legionary up into the forest, which gave me control of this flag. And these Panzergrenadiers have done a really good job at just holding back the lines. That Ju-88 coming in and saving my last man was really good. So we also managed to kill off that squad, but there are some basics coming in to try and deal with my Panzergrenadiers. Meanwhile, I've brought up my Panzergrenadiers into the buildings here, so that means that his engineers aren't going to be able to push any further. And this guy getting a little bit too close for comfort. rockets on target as well, so I also thought the M1 gun was here. It was really back here, so I do miss that. I'm now going to fan out my Panzergrenadiers to this forest and this forest, and then bring up a couple more at the edge of the town. And this 88 is just going to slowly make his way up. I was pretty lucky that this basic unit didn't jump another building, since he did know this Panzergrenadier was here. Gives me a little bit of a time to reinforce. I've got an 88 coming in. Heavy machine gun going down. And over on the left, he has brought up some units to try and deal with the pioneers, but hasn't done anything about it just yet. He's also got these engineer squads coming in to deal with my legionary and Panzergrenadiers. But I was pretty happy with how long I kept this. I didn't expect to keep this for as long as I did. So my SS Legionary was a little bit close to the road, so the engineers were able to hit them from range. If I had have kept them further back into the forest, that's one thing you should always be aware of, is when you are using a close quarter infantry unit, you need to make sure that you check the vision so that there's no spots where they can just start hitting you and you can't hit them back. So, bunch of units coming up now. I want to regain control of this flag as soon as possible. And over here, this Rhino did get hit by my 88, but then managed to just keep out of range. So I'm going to bring the SS Legionary in to deal with it. Both goes down. This was a bit of a mistake, just trying to go even further in, since he did have units in this forest that could take shots at me out in the open. As soon as your infantry get into the open, they can get picked off quite quickly. Also getting his bombs off. I think over on the right, also a bit of an engagement happening. And now I had forgotten about these basics at the time, and my SS Legionary just get completely picked off. I was pretty disappointed in that. And the SPW-231s were out of range as well, so they weren't even able to provide supporting fire. My Legionary did get taken out. M1 gun going down. My legionary getting taken out by the engineers. I've actually now got a new warfare coming in. Now that we're into phase C. I was surprised he didn't actually try to fall these units back, but I do make the mistake of getting a little bit greedy trying to get this flag. This basic unit just going to pick my grenadiers apart. SS Legionary coming in just in time though, so I'm going to get that flag under my control. And these demolitions aren't going to stand much of a chance since they are out of range of their flamethrower. Whole bunch of reinforcements though getting ready to push forward. Just as my 88 gets into a pretty good position. Over on the right, I've brought up a couple of these SPW-231s, along with a Stug for leader, and even some more. So just a whole bunch of reinforcements getting ready to push onto this flag again. And I actually think I've made the same error of forgetting about this basic unit. It is going to get shots off. This time we are going to fall it back quite quickly. Meanwhile, over on the left, I've brought up a Pack 43, and I think I have some more units coming up. We're going to try to make another play for this flag up here. We've also got the Jagdpanzer coming up. And I wanted to bring up a couple of Panzergrenadiers into this forest here so that I have control of the left flank to stop stuff like this from happening where they can just move around. Another rocket strike coming in. I'm gonna have to pull those Grens back because that Ranger T-30 was getting shots off. Oh, SPW going down. But the flak still got vision. Might even get that kill there. I've got a couple of pioneers now in the SPW-231 stopping anything from crossing over. And the Stug and 88 to deal with any armor. There we go, M5 gun does go down, nice kill there. His rifle is getting stopped in their tracks. These units here did get to sneak around into the forest. It's quite clever. I think my Stug actually took a shot at them. I'll just zoom back out. So I've got some pioneers. They're just gonna set up around the flag. I've got another 88. I'm gonna try to sneak this all the way up into the flag area. And the idea was to pick off any armor that tries to sneak out this way, and also to possibly take shots at, because I saw this, I wanted to be able to make sure that they couldn't just keep bringing troops in through this forest here, because that would be pretty problematic for me. Meanwhile, over on the left, I've finally decided to move these guys forward. This time, not forgetting to bring up my AT. So the Pack 43 going to make the long journey up onto this forest. I do feel pretty bad for these guys having to push this up this hill. Nice big hit there from the IG-33 that just got vision of those engineers there. There we go, so I do regain control of this forest and control of this flag. Now he has a lot of reinforcements coming in here. This is something I wasn't expecting. I've got a Nebelwerfer coming up. Over in the town, it's made a little bit of a push. My yard pens is just out of range there. Now at this point I had seen these rhinos coming along here, so I was under the impression that there was a whole massive armor here getting ready to push down the side. So at this point I actually thought that I took out a whole bunch of rhinos when it looks like I only took out the one. So we do manage to deal with most of the units that he was pushing forward. He does gain control of the flag though, so it wasn't a complete loss for him. His rhinos now moving over to where I thought they were. And over on the left side, rocket barrage coming in. I really wish that rocket barrage was coming into here, but it's actually trying to deal with the tanks over here. Since my Pack 43 was getting pretty stressed out by his long tom. Where is it? Over here. It was taking shots at the Pack 43. My infantry getting completely caught out. And because I'm pretty stressed, my Pack 43 is just completely missing as well. Now I thought that there was more AA in the area, so the idea was to, and I think these JU-88s are a little bit faster. Oh no, it just looked like they were. So the anti-tank bombs go off and pins him down. So he decides to fall back, and the HE shells, HE bombs, actually deal no damage. So what I thought was a pretty clever trick of using the AT shells, like AT bombs, to soak all the AA. The idea was that the first one would actually fall back, and then the HE bombs would go and knock all of them out. But that's not what happened. So we're going to lose this position again. We do deal with the M8 and the Rhino with the Pack 38, sorry, and clear out his rifles. Over in the town, I think he's just getting ready for some more units to counter push. I'm so glad he didn't try to counter artillery this, because I actually forgot to move them after each strike. He was a little bit too busy trying to deal with that Pack 43, so that makes sense. Once he failed this push here, I realized that this is probably pretty empty and felt pretty safe pushing up onto this side. He does bring up the M4A1, I guess so that I wouldn't be able to push any further with those infantry, but it gives me range with my Pack 40, and I'm going to be able to take that out. So with that, we do manage to win that engagement, and I'm bringing up a Pack 38 along with a couple more Panzergrenadiers. I unloaded these guys a little bit far back since I didn't know if anything was going to try to push forward here and try to kill them. I've also got the 231 for fire support. These howitzers are a bit of a pain though, so I'm going to try and deal with them with the Nibblewaffe. And some more Panzergrenadiers and Stugs coming in. Now he's doing a pretty big push over here, and this 88 is getting maximum value. It's already taken shots at these late rifles, and now it's trying to take out that second M4A1. This 88 going down. So I'm going to try to fall those guys back, and the Argpen's just going to make sure that they can't advance. He's also got another push coming in over on the right side. Those rifles going to run straight into my TNT though, my frag grenades. FBW is going down very quickly. Looks like he actually managed to take out my pioneers. There we go. This one can try and get out of there. This rifle is going to get my 88 though, and this light rifle is going to take out my pioneer. So he's going to gain control of his flag again. He's pushing up some more rifles and some demolitions. Over on the left, I managed to regain control of this flag and take this flag. Pioneer's getting caught out there. He did bring up some reinforcements. And now I'm just being a little bit silly and pushing deep with these stugs. Ideally I should have waited for these Panzergrenadiers to get into the forest and then push these up, as they have pretty limited vision, and then also deciding to just move instead of having the move and shoot order. You finally get to see him bring up the P-47D and it actually gets its rockets off. With no AA there to stop him. And then a nice side shot from the Emperor A1. Getting my second stug, so it was nice to see him get a few kills there. Rockets coming in. Not going to really do much to the tank though. In the town, I think pretty much going to stay the way it is. So he did get these two flags back under his control. And I think that is going to be game. So I did forget to show the stats at the end. So I got 4,100 kills to 2,700 losses. And just want to thank my opponent for the game. It was a lot of fun. And thanks for watching.